Yo guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another video. Today we have some pitching tips for you guys in MLB The Show 22. Specifically, we are going to be covering pinpoint pitching because that is the most competitive and accurate pitching mechanic in the game, and it's the best one to use if you're trying to be as good as you can at the game. Now that pinpoint has been out for a year, I think a lot of people have definitely gotten the hang of it, but of course there's a ton of new players coming in this year, so I know a lot of you guys want to know how to actually use this thing. And the main thing I tell people is there's three big components to pinpoint. It is the speed, right? Like how well can you time that up? There's the movement. How well can you trace what they want you to do? And then there's the timing. How well can you hit the circle and finish at the right time so that you can get the perfect release? If you can do all three of those things, you're going to end up hitting your spots and being a consistent pitcher. What I struggled with the most, like a year ago, right, when we were all brand new to this, was the speed. I think a lot of people struggle with the speed and probably the timing. I think the movement is pretty self-explanatory, right? Like for a slider, you know, you push left, do a little circle, and then flick down. But you got to be really careful with it because even just the slightest little speed up or slow down of your stick is going to deviate you from that green and give you like a yellow timing probably. The best way to get better at this specifically is to definitely just practice in either custom practice or maybe grind conquest or mini seasons while you're doing that, you know, so at least you're being productive. But that one really does come with time, but you'll definitely get a feel for it. I mean, check out what the game is telling you, right? Like, for example, right, if I'm throwing a slider right here, I'm going to intentionally do this. I'm going to throw like, yeah, 22%. It says too slow. So on the next pitch, you're like, all right, let me adjust. And you got to just, there you go. Flick the stick a little bit quicker and I get perfect release. Now, even if you are a pinpoint master, things have changed in this year's game from prior games, and that really includes what pitches are going to be easier to dot than others. If you look at the par of Shohei Ohtani, you can see that it isn't changing no matter where I put it, but that will change if I switch the pitch. So for example, look at the splitter. It's already got a huge par, to be honest, but if I put it higher up, it actually does increase in size. So if you're going for something like a sinker up, or a changeup up, or a splitter up, it's going to be harder to dot in this year's game. Doesn't mean you can't do it, but it's going to be a lot harder, and it's going to take perfect input plus just luck. Another thing I like to recommend with pinpoint pitching is to turn on classic ball marker. And the reason that I suggest this is the other option is just the laser, right? I could go pitch trail on, and then this is what it would look like. Right? I just have this little laser, which is red for strike and a blue for a ball. But if you have classic on, you actually get a lot of extra information, which shows you these little yellow arrows, which is the break of the pitch, obviously. So you can kind of get a feel for what the batter is going to see at the plate if you're hitting your spot. When it comes to pitching view, I personally just don't think it matters a ton, right? I pitch from behind the plate. This is pitcher offset. A lot of people will tell you you should use the cam behind the plate, so maybe that way the whole game you're behind the plate, you're in one fixated position, and you get to pitch from the point of view that you hit. And that's a good point, but like you can still pitch just as good from really wherever, as long as you know what pitches to throw and how to sequence them. So again, it's really all about speed, movement, and timing. That's really all pinpoint comes down to. I talk to people that end up like saying they gave up on pinpoint or they've moved on. Trust me, you're going to want to learn it. It does work out in the long run, especially if you're trying to play ranked, man, in the high levels. You're gonna need this. And just to show you an example with a sinker, you can see Noah Syndergaard right here. If I try to go up and in, that par is gonna get big, and even if I put a perfect release on this, which we pretty much do, you might not always dot it. In this case, we do. It always is important to note that, of course, every pitcher is different. You know, pinpoint with every pitcher is a little bit different. You got to know their windup. You know, right there, I went way too slow. I didn't know Noah Syndergaard's, you know, wind up perfectly. Now we can adjust and go a little bit quicker, and now we're pretty much all on the green. So that's really what pinpoint comes down to. Know your pitcher, know your movement, speed, and timing, and it's just at the end of the day, a lot of practice as well. But yeah, man, those are the fundamentals of pinpoint pitching in MLB The Show 22. Hopefully those helped, and if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.